All right. Hello, students. We're going to walk you through how to get set up in Google Drive for our biology design course. The first step is we're going to go to slide 36 on our launch slides, which you can find from our Canvas post. This is the last slide here and really the last assignment to launch us into this PBL before we start with hitting our checkpoints. So the first thing that we want to do is we're going to create a folder in Google Drive named Biology Design, star the folder, and then we're going to make our learning journal. And from there, we're going to move that journal into our folder. And then we'll finally share that folder with myself, Mr. Maney, using our email. So we're going to make sure that all of these things are set up. Let's start with the first step, which is create a folder in Google Drive named Biology Design and starring this folder. So we're going to go to your Google Drive. To create a new folder, you're going to click New Folder. And we're going to call this Biology Design and click Create. And it's going to pop up the folder here. It'll highlight it for you. Our next step was to star that folder. The way I do that is I left click, and then I'm going to choose to add to starred. And so now it'll be added to starred. So when I click on my bookmarks or my starred items, I'll be able to find this folder. All right. That is step A, creating the folder and starring it. B, move your learning journal into your folder. Well, first, let's make a copy of our learning journal. You can do that by clicking on the link here. It's going to open your learning journal. It's going to ask you to make a copy, and you will say yes. You're then going to come up here, and you're going to delete this first part and put in your name there. So it should read your name, like mine is Mr. Maney. That's not actually my first name. So Ryan Maney, Biology Design Learning Journal. This should be your first and last name. And then you're going to change the sharing settings. So I'm going to come over here, change the sharing settings, and you're going to share it directly with me by typing in my email, which is rmaney1, and it'll start to populate in mine, and you can click and then click send. You'll also want to come back to sharing settings and change the link to where anybody who is part of San Antonio ISD can view your journal. This is in case you need to collaborate with your peers. They won't be able to write on it, but they can at least see it. And then you'll click done. So in the end, this is what your sharing button should look like with this skyscraper here and then the link underneath. All right, so now that we've made a copy of our learning journal, change the sharing settings, we're going to move this learning journal into that biology design folder. Here's how you can do that. We'll go back to our learning journal. There's an icon of a folder here called Move, or you can click File and Move and find that same icon there. Either way, we're going to move this document into our biology design folder and then click move here. Ta-da! So let's check. We've now created the folder. We have starred the folder. We've moved the learning journal. The last step is to share the folder with Mr. Maney. So we're going to go to our drive, find our folder. We're going to left click on that and click share. Type in Mr. Maney's email, which is rmaney1@sisd.net, and then click send, and that will send me an email knowing that I have it. Once I get that email, I can then go through, as this will be your first grade for design class, is navigating Google Drive, which is part of the design standards using Google Drive effectively. And that's how we set up our learning journal in Google Drive. The next video, what we'll talk about is how do we actually use this learning journal as we get ready to roll into some biology content.